All right, welcome back. New developments today on whether Robert Mueller will testify before the House Judiciary Committee. This morning, Congressman David Cicilline made the surprise announcement that there was a tentative agreement to make it happen.
A tentative date has been set of May 15th, and we hope the special counsel will appear. We think the American people have a right to hear directly from him.
No, let me just interrupt because we're running out of time. When you say a tentative date has been set, has the special counsel agreed to that date?
Well, I think counsel for the special, or the representative of the special counsel has, but obviously until the date comes, we never have an absolute guarantee. The White House has so far indicated they would not interfere with Mr. Mueller's attempts to testify. We hope that won't change.
All right, Cicilline has since walked that back, tweeting this. I'm quoting now, just to clarify, we are aiming to bring Mueller in on the 15th, but nothing has been agreed to yet. That's the date the committee has proposed, and we hope the special counsel will agree to it. Sorry for the confusion. But let's talk further on all this. With me now is Democratic Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee of Texas. She is also a member of the House Judiciary Committee. Congresswoman, good to see you.
Pleasure to be with you and your viewers this afternoon.
All right, so can you help clarify where negotiations stand with getting Mueller to testify?
Well, Frederica, first let me make it very clear to the American people that the House Judiciary Committee has a constitutional and oversight and investigatory authority, and particularly under House Rule 10, to do our job and to investigate the inappropriate behavior, misconduct of the president and his associates, and all those who may be able to bring information, bring insight, and more understanding of what the president did wrong or right are important witnesses. So we are intending and aiming toward having Mr. Mueller, but as has been reaffirmed, there's no final answer or final date at this time. But we are continuing our work, and as you well know, we still have a request into Attorney General Barr for him to do his job and to provide to the Congress and to the House of Representatives Judiciary Committee the unredacted materials from the Mueller report.
And for Barr to come before the House Judiciary Committee, he didn't like the idea of being questioned by lawyers that would be representing some of your inquiries. Is there a willingness to let that go? Instead of attorneys questioning Barr, it would indeed be lawmakers, thereby creating an atmosphere where Mr. Barr would be willing to appear before the House Judiciary?
Well, on Friday, our chairman sent a letter extending a hand of reconsideration and an opportunity for accommodation on some aspects. And that is to ask the General Barr to reconsider holding back our documents and not letting the entire body of members of the House Judiciary Committee see those documents. We offered an opportunity to look at what we call grand jury materials, to go into court and decide how that could be done. We wanted to also say that we would ask for specific evidence and give a priority to certain kinds of evidence. As it relates to the format inside the hearing room, we cannot have the Attorney General tell the Congress, and in this instance, the Judiciary Committee, how to do its investigatory work. This process has been utilized before. It was utilized in the Justice Kavanaugh hearing with no complaint by the United States Senate. And so it is not an extraordinary use of resources. These are not contract lawyers. These are staff lawyers. And we give equal time to Republicans and Democrats. We frankly believe that the President of the United States has set a tone and said to the American people, I am above the law. I do not have to adhere to any law, and I certainly do not have to recognize the co-equal status of the United States Congress. We, as the holders of the Constitution, I've served on this committee with great pride for a number of years, realize, the House Judiciary Committee, that it is our task to protect democracy and the rule of law and certainly adherence to the Constitution. We ask the Attorney General, who is the Chief Law Enforcement Officer for the United States and not the Defense Counsel for President Trump, to show the American people that the Department of Justice will follow the law. But we have sent a letter of accommodation to try to work with him.
Okay, and you have not heard from him yet? Response from that letter?
No, we expect and hope that we will hear from him by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Okay.
And if not, it is likely that we will move to mark up a contempt proceeding in this coming week.
And on Mueller's testimony, we did hear Barr, the Attorney General, say this about the special counsel's availability.
What about Bob Mueller? Should he be allowed to testify before this?
I've already said publicly I have no objection to him.
And Don McGahn, should he be allowed to testify?
Well, that's a call for the president to make.
So as it pertains to Mueller, we also heard from the president just moments ago via Twitter, and he said he does not believe that Mueller should testify. So who will have the final say about Mueller's testimony? Will it be the Attorney General, or will it be the President of the United States?
Well, Frederica, here lies the complete mystery of this administration. The Attorney General, who has been doubtful Tom throughout his testimony over the last couple of weeks, everything was he couldn't remember, he didn't understand the question, would you repeat the question, said without qualifications that he sees no reason or he would not interfere with Director Mueller testifying. We remember just about 2 weeks ago the great compliments that were coming from the president on Mr. Mueller in his report, and he was exonerated, and he was celebrating Mr. Mueller, this former Marine. Now, all of a sudden, on the eve of potential interactions on this point,
possibly.
yeah, well, interactions on the point of Mr. Mueller coming, dialogue about that happening. Now the president is all of a sudden saying he thinks he should not. Mr. Mueller is soon to be, I would expect, a private citizen.
Except
Mr.
right now
Mueller
he's
sent
still
a
a
letter.
Department of Justice employee. So
He is. But
so who would have the
soon to
final
be.
say?
But more, well, I would say more importantly, his letter indicates he might have the final say. As you remember, he sent a letter on March 27th saying, I don't know why you're holding up these documents, my summarization of it. I gave it to you in the framework of what you could give to Congress and the public. I think Mr. Mueller is a straight shooter. I would hope that he would make that decision because the president has, in the overall perspective, waived his executive privilege to a certain extent, and he should not have any rights over Mr. McGahn or Mr. Mueller
and you say
as
that
private
because
citizens.
the president did give the green light for them to be questioned by the Mueller team.
He was a happy camper. He said they could talk all day long, and they did talk all day long, and the reports were based upon that. I want to remind the American people that Mr. Mueller, a former Marine, a straight arrow, former FBI director, made it very clear. If I could have exonerated the president, I would have so stated. I could not. Now, he did not make a conclusion of guilt or innocence, and he made it very clear that he did not move forward because of the direct policy of the DOJ that you cannot indict a sitting president. But he did understand the Constitution and the responsibilities of Congress, i.e. the House Judiciary Committee, to do its job and to investigate what he has put forward in a more thorough and expansive manner for the American people to see. I think we should hold hearings that are prime time for the American people to see. We're not targeting anyone, Frederica. We're just trying to find out the truth.
All right. We will leave it there. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.